John and Ron, thank you. Jennifer and Amy Grant, was that her daughter? And whoever else the other person was. Thank you. Deep breath. We're going to do our treatment for freedom together aloud. I speak my word for myself, my center, and all its members and friends. I know love as the only reality. I am created out of love. Love is what I am. I know this love as absolute freedom in every area of my life, the life of my center, and all who call it home. I know our center's mortgages are paid in full, and I claim for all of us financial freedom with all debts paid and cleared. I release any sense of struggle or wrongdoing. I live in an abundant universe where there is more than enough for all. We experience freedom in every moment by always having more than enough money, vibrant health, and loving relationships. We are who we have come here to be. With hearts open wide, we see the world through the eyes of love. We are blessed, we are rich, and we are free. And so it is. And we use our points of power. I always pay attention. I always tell the truth and tell it quickly. I always ask for what I want when I want it. I always take total responsibility for my experience. I always keep my agreements. And so it is.
Yay! I guarantee you I enjoy it more than anyone being home. Sophia, I think your voice gets more beautiful with every child. That doesn't mean you have to keep having children. You are really hypocritical. So I was away this past week and spent most of the time in Denver. We had a ministers' meeting, went down to Colorado Springs, which we actually have some folks here that were members of that community. And Norma Bouchard is the minister there. He's a former Catholic priest. I think he still has some ties to that because he loves ritual more than most religious scientists. And we did a blessing in the time we were together, and it was lovely. And I really came home feeling very good about that. And in my mind, I just kept thinking about blessings, this whole idea of blessings and what they are in our lives and how they work. So I went gallivanting through the Bible, looking at places that were considered blessings, and virtually all of them are this idea of God, a deity outside of the people, giving a blessing to an individual or to the people. And yeah, that's okay. That's kind of the way that's all written, and one shouldn't expect it to be any different. But I have this real resonance with the idea of blessings. In my work in psychology, I studied archetypes. And my particular archetype, it says that one of my gifts is bestowing blessings on others. And that really works too. I love to do that. And this idea of blessings and how they show up in our lives really don't have to be out of alignment with what the Bible says, because truly, if God is all there is, then all blessings must come from God. Right? Okay, so they're correct. We just don't need that idea of it being something outside of us. That blessings flow, that we have blessed days, that we live blessed lives. It's all good. It all works. And there's this thing, most people thinking about blessings, I think what we think of first is receiving a blessing and living in a place where we are blessed. And that's wonderful. We should think about those things and realize it. But somehow I've discovered that there may be a link in there somewhere that says, I'm blessed because I'm good. Or I'm blessed because I'm living the right kind of life. And I want to challenge that a little bit today. I must be elevating in my status around here. My mic is popping. Usually it's Barbara.
You're hot stuff.
I found some passages in the New Testament that I thought were very valuable in looking at the idea of, could this idea of blessing go beyond this idea of a reward or something that is received in some kind of a wonderful receiving of the blessing because I'm just there. You know, and I don't blame anyone for feeling that. It's logical, it's natural, and I think it feels good. So I'm not telling you don't have those feelings, especially if you're feeling like you're being blessed to be uplifted. You should feel uplifted. That's the nature of blessing. However, it can also be a way to heal our inner work, not receiving a blessing, but giving a blessing. How would that work? Well, I start with a passage. This comes from Jesus. It's one of the sections in Luke where he's just flat teaching. He's going through a bunch of ideas, and he's teaching. And what he says in the 6th chapter of Luke is, bless those who curse you. Pray for those who mistreat you. Now, that's unnatural. Because those so-and-sos did such and such, and why should I care if they just pass over and evil, mean son of a gun? I don't want to bless them. Yet here we are at the Center for Spiritual Living, teaching that God is all there is. That means, doggone it, that God's in the midst of things that you don't like, and people that treat you poorly. God's in the midst of all of that. There's something there to know. There's something to understand. But we need a little more from Jesus on this. So about 10 verses later, this is what he says. Whatever you give will be given to you, like a blessing. Good measure, passed down, shaken together, running over, will be put into your lap. For with the measure you use it, will be measured back to you. Okay? Like everything else, like we teach with tithing, like we teach with any action. Should I go to a hand mic? Yes, I should go to a hand mic. I'm hot stuff, huh? Whatever's going on, whatever we're putting out into the world, we're going to get back, right? That's what he's telling us. That's what he's teaching us. So you can't react to the things in life and give kind to kind. If you do, that's what you're going to get. It's tough. That's not the way we want to do this. So we have to rise above this somehow. Even when it's so natural to face whatever you're getting with and give it back. It's so natural to want to do that. But we have to rise above that if we're going to learn this thing about living a spiritual life. We're going to have to do something different. So I bring you a story about a colleague whose name is Reverend Carey. I'm not going to tell you whether it's a he or she. Reverend Carey was in the office of the church when a neighbor came in. Actually, the man that owned the property next door, his name was Thomas. And this really caught my attention here in the story. Thomas wanted to sell the adjoining property to the church, and that's why he had come to visit Reverend Carey. Well, the good Reverend knew the business of the church, and contrary to what I would be saying, because I'd be going, yeah, sure, we'll buy it. He said, we're not in a position to do that. There's really no need for us to do that right now, but thank you for coming by and offering that to us. Well, Thomas was not done. He had more to say. He wanted to explain to Reverend Carey how hard his life was, how his business partner had just stabbed him in the back by leaving the company and taking a number of very good customers, and how he was very angry with his partner and how that was really creating a problem in his life. And that if that wasn't enough, that some guy was actually trying to break up his marriage. Another guy. Yeah, no, that one really gets you, huh, Jane? Anyway, he went on with these problems, and Reverend Carey thought, and what do you say? What do you say? Well, Reverend Carey came up with a Bible passage to help. This is what was shared. Oh, I was going to do that. There we go. Do not repay evil with evil or insult with insult. On the contrary, repay evil with blessing, because to this You were called so that you may inherit a blessing. That's in Peter. That's good advice. Again, it's not real natural, but it's good advice. How important could this be to really look at this? How could this make a difference? Well, think about people in your lives who struggle. Think about someone who has some kind of a health issue. They come to a practitioner, and the practitioner does treatment work for them. And what usually happens is they get better for a while. And then they go back to the way they were, sometimes even more so. Or someone who's struggling financially in their lives. And they come to a practitioner, and things start looking a little better, and then it turns around. Why would that be? Let me explain the technicality of this. First of all, a practitioner does not keep holding your consciousness forever. They demonstrate to you that your circumstances can change, and they create a different demonstration. But they're not going to keep treating for you forever and holding your consciousness. That's your business. So you've got to shift your consciousness. So could it be that someone who's struggling with their physicality in some way gets their blessing from the practitioner, but then they find that they're still holding on to stuff about people? They're doing that thing that Edwin Gaines taught us. Being angry at somebody, being resentful to somebody, is like taking poison and expecting the other person to die. It doesn't work. So how do you turn that around? You just turn it off and say, oh, I don't care anymore. Likely not. You have to take real action. Real action in your life. With the money, who is it that that person could be resenting? Even though they have this momentary shift in their consciousness. Who are they holding in a place of resentment or judgment or anger? Blessings. Blessings could well be the answer. So is it possible that you could look around your life and find somebody who you are not settled with and offer them a blessing? Well, that was the offer that Reverend Carey made to Thomas. And Thomas said, okay, I'll give it a go. He went home. And he started working on blessing this partner that had just screwed up his business. He just worked on it. And it only took a few days before the partner came to him and said, I've made a terrible mistake. Splitting up our company like this didn't work. It isn't a good idea. We need each other. I want to come back. I want this to work with us. Thomas was blown away, and of course he called Reverend Carey and explained his joy in this. And so Reverend Carey said, well, what are you going to do about the guy that tried to break up your marriage? He said, he's next. I'm working on him. Now that guy didn't come back and act contrite. That's okay though. What happened was that Thomas had this revelation within him, that it did not serve him. His wife didn't leave him. It didn't serve him to be in that space. It didn't serve him to be angry at someone that really in the end did not get what he wanted. And he let it all go. And he said his burden was just gone. It was completely gone. That would be the point, wouldn't it? So this idea of a blessing, of actually holding someone in a state of blessing, could change everything. And again, blessings aren't just about healing stuff in your life, but it's a valuable tool. I looked up blessing. I looked up the source of the word blessing. Let's see if I can find it real quick here. It was good. There it is. Blessing comes from the Old English word bletsunga, which means gift from God. So when you offer a blessing to someone, you're giving them a divine gift. And when you do that, the divine is flowing through you. How could that not improve your life? And of course, we always want to receive blessings. But perhaps we could spend a little more time giving blessings out in our lives. Seeing the divine within those that are around us. Those that we love deeply, and those that we've got some stuff with. So of course, this has been working on me for the last few days. And don't you know, when I came home from my trip on Saturday and went to my desk, there was a package or an envelope, a large envelope from my sister. The sister that meddled in my relationship with my son several years ago. And I said, "You're out. I'm done. That's the last time." And I've held to that. I've held to that. And it's been hard. Because you gotta work at holding somebody away. And I'm not going to tell you that even now, with the card that came to me in that envelope, that I feel at all healed because she wants me to accept Jesus. Frankly, I think I'm doing a good job of accepting Jesus. But she included in the envelope a picture of my mom. Could you pull it out for me? I didn't know I was going to do this, but it just feels right.
Oh, wow. That's fabulous.
She was a beauty, wasn't she? No, she's much better looking than me. So I'm going to put a blessing on my sister and let all that go and find a new way to be in relationship with her. Yeah. But I'm also called to do a blessing with you. And I know this is going to take a few minutes. So if you'd like a blessing this morning, I have come prepared to do that. And I want to invite you to form a line down the center here. I will bless you by placing some frankincense oil on your forehead and saying a blessing to you. And how we always do it is you come down the center aisle from wherever you are. If you're on the side, go to the back. Come down the center aisle. And when you leave, go to the side, go back to your seat. We will do this as quickly as we can. But I'm compelled to want this room to be filled with blessing today. So when you're ready, go ahead and do that. And David, would you come up here first? Because I'd like you to tinkle something on the keys while I'm doing it. Okay, that'd be a good idea. Do you feel that?
Yes.
That's real. Go do that with someone else. See what happens. Let's spread this light as far as we can. And those of you watching this video, you're blessed too, because I love you. I bless you, and I know you're perfect. Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful. We have the best center ever. And our welcomers are up. Is there anyone in the room for the very first time? What a good day you picked. Anyone here for the very first time? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Anybody over here? I want to welcome you to a place that transforms lives, where anything is possible, where the consciousness that we share changes the world. So welcome to Center for Spiritual Living Asheville. These people have a gift for you out on the Welcome Center. If you want to know more information about us, then all you need to do is give us your name and address or your email address, and we'll just keep you informed. But there is something very, very special going on in this room. And I'm so glad those of you who brought your friends, you loved them enough to bring them. And those of you who showed up had the courage to step into this kind of spiritual living. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And now I'd like to invite our prosperity acceptors to come forward. And I want to thank everyone who gives so generously to this center. And those of you watching online, there are people all around the world who watch these videos, and people all around the world that contact us. So whether you're giving through the donation station, through the auto giving program, having your banks send in your giving, or giving through PayPal, I want you to know that we are very grateful. And those of you who watch online, we know you. When you give a gift to this center, we see that. If you go to the website and contact our practitioners, they will contact you and work with you. We are a point of healing in the world that has no bounds to it. And I am so awed to be a part of that. So thank you for the way you support this center so that we can keep changing the world. I am very grateful. So I take the gift, I put my open hand over and under it and bring it to my heart. And I know that God is the source of all supply, that we are in the flow of spirit, and that all is well. I know that we are created out of abundance and prosperity itself. And so, of course, there is always enough. Our lives always unfold exactly in perfect harmony with divine spirit. And so I know that we give this gift, that we bless this center, and we bless this world. And it's a new affirmation, so pay attention. And we'll repeat our prosperity, our investment affirmation together aloud. I freely and joyously give from the abundance and fullness of my overflowing wealth, knowing my gift goes out above as it touches and blesses the world, and so it is.
Blessings are flowing, the gift is unsealed, life is unfolding, love is revealed, with open hearts and open hands, I give and receive in love. Blessings are flowing, the gift is unsealed, life is unfolding, love is revealed, with open hearts and open hands, I give and receive in love. Blessings are flowing, the gift is unsealed, life is unfolding, love is revealed, with open hearts and open hands, I give and receive in love. I give and receive in love.
And I know that everything in these baskets is blessed. That Spirit poured itself through us into the world as we gave. And I know that presence of the divine fills up this room from the floor to the ceiling and all between the walls. And as Spirit moves in our lives, it touches us, and it blesses us, and it heals us, and all is well. I know that it moves on out into the world to touch, bless, and heal every being on this planet, always here and always now, touching every one of us here today, everyone who has ever been here, and everyone yet to come. And so it is. Are the kids out there?